Okay. We will call this meeting to order. For the folks that are watching at home, sorry for the delay. We had a little hiccup in our technology. So I would ask that Sue will do roll call, please.
Carrie Germain.
Present.
Alyssa Bouchard.
Present.
Chuck Melkey.
Here.
Andrea Fick.
Present.
Holly Jarvis.
Here.
Autumn Henry.
She has to be excused. She had her baby Friday. She had called me.
Okay. And Kim Winter is absent also.
Yes. All right. With that, I would invite you for the pledge of the flag. I don't see any students in the audience. If I'm missing anyone, come forward and help us with the pledge. If you'd like, you're not forced to. Oh, there's some students. Yes, come along.
Oh.
Sometimes they're much younger and sometimes they're not. Okay, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right. At this point of our meeting, we have the first of two opportunities for public comment. The first one is related to agenda-specific items. So if you have anything related to our agenda, you can come forward to the mic and give us your name and 3 minutes or less in comments. Not seeing anyone. You will have a second comment towards the end of our meeting. All right, let's move on to a consent agenda. I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Andrea,
Support.
Alyssa, any comments or questions? Hearing none, Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Andrea Fick.
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
Thank you, Sue. And now let's turn it over to Mr. Heatherton so he can enlighten us with his superintendent report.
Thank you very much. We have a lot of exciting activities as we are rounding out the end of the school year. First, we're going to give a big thank you and shout out to Mr. Love and his crew and all of our students for putting on an excellent show last weekend. Hopefully you had a chance to go see Legally Blonde. Kudos to everyone involved in that show and production. I'd also like to thank Mr. Kitchen. He just rounded out our second annual Aspiring Leaders cohort. Over the last 2 years, we've had 17 teachers who have attended and engaged in deep learning around the activities and duties of running a school building. So thank you to Mr. Kitchen, who is the lead in that cohort. Mary Crapo Phase 2 is finally underway. If you've driven by, you can see that the dirt is being moved this week, and we're looking for completion in early fall. By the end of September is what our hope for. And speaking of baseball, our baseball team is out to a hot start at 12-2. A couple of other hot starts that Mrs. Trebetowski made me aware of, and that is girls lacrosse, 10-3 with a 5-0 perfect Metro League record right now, and boys track is out to a 3-0 start. We recently did a survey about that drive that comes in off of Miller Road and rounds out to the PAC and the STEAM wing. And for mapping and emergency vehicle purposes, we were asked to create a name. So I'm going to have Mr. Kitchen tell us a little bit about how we went about that and then reveal for the first time publicly what the name of that drive is going to be called.
Yep, so the board asked if we could go out and get some input from staff. We sent out a request for staff to give us ideas. We received 25 names, and with that, we had a committee narrow it down to 6 names. And then we sent those 6 names back out to the district, and we came up with the new name of the pack. Is that my honor or yours, Mr. Heatherton? All right, it is now called Thunder Alley. So congratulations, that's a great name. We love it because, as you know, a group of dragons is a thunder. So that's why they named it Thunder Alley. I'd also like to say that was an idea that Ms. Jarvis gave as one that she submitted, one of the 3 or 4 that she put in for that. We had some other really cool names that would have been appropriate for that, but we also are going through the process. We will be going through the process of naming the drive by the middle school. So there were some cool middle school names that the committee felt would be really appropriate for that drive. So we'll go through a similar process when that time comes.
Thank you, Mr. Kitchen, and if you didn't know what a thunder was, you do now. A couple of graduation dates, just a reminder, Swartz Creek High School graduation is May 27th, VLC graduation is May 21st, and Senior Honors Night is May 22nd. So 27th for the high school, 21st for the VLC, and 22nd for Senior Honors Night. We're also in the middle of state testing. We hope to wrap that up next week or so. Thank you to all our students and teachers for organizing that and doing their best on the test. And that is all that I have for this evening.
Thank you, Rod. Any questions for Rod? Thank you. Thanks for sharing the name with us, Jim. That's really cool. And thanks for everybody who contributed some ideas. All right, moving on. We do have a student board representative report from Ms. Sophia Johnston. And I know I asked you this last time, Sophia, but you're here this month and then you're here at least one more time, if not, okay, good.
All right, hello everyone, and happy Wednesday. To start off our report, I kind of sound like an echo, but congratulations to our Swartz Creek Performing Arts Department for the wonderful performance of Legally Blonde that took place April 11th through the 13th. And a special shout out to Savannah Lara and Peyton Edison on their recent nominations for the Sutton Foster Award. This is a big award in high school theater, and they get to go to the Wharton Center in East Lansing on May 18th, and they'll join other top performers in the state, so that's super cool. Next up, yesterday was Bus Driver Appreciation Day, so thank you so much to all the hardworking bus drivers who get our kids to school in the community, so thank you guys so much. Shout out to all our spring sports teams. Make sure to come out and watch a game in the community soon. Baseball is doing great. Varsity lacrosse is also doing great. And then we have a lot of other great teams. And with that, our track meet yesterday, we hosted a school for the deaf, and it was really heartwarming to see all our athletes were very welcoming, and they jumped in with their coaches and staff to learn sign language to assist in communicating with these people. So that was like really cool to be able to see our team accomplish that, a sense of community and welcome. Our high school prom is this weekend on Saturday from 7 to 11 at U of M Flint. It's going to be super fun, I hear, and yeah, so get your dancing shoes on for that. Our high school's peer-to-peer club took a field trip this month to Last Level Arcade in Fenton. I hear that it was a wonderful opportunity to immerse all different types of people into social settings. Our staff versus student basketball game took place April 17th, and it was an awesome opportunity for our community to engage with one another and to see our staff outside of school doing like athletic sports. That's super cool. And spring break, a group of students from our high school attended Costa Rica, and they were able to immerse themselves into a new culture. And lastly, the community Me and My Guy dance for all the elementary schools will take place next Friday, May 2nd at the middle school from 6 to 8 p.m. Tickets are sold from April 15th to the 30th at all elementaries, and they are going to be $10 each. So get your dancing shoes on for those as well. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
I have a question. Who won the staff versus student basketball game?
That is a great question, and based on the response from the audience, I'm going to guess staff.
Thank you. Thanks, Sophia. Any questions for Sophia? Can we keep you a little bit longer?
I'd love to stay.
Okay, all right. Yeah. All right, next on our agenda, we have informational items. You have employment of non-certified staff in your packet that we don't take action on, and board subcommittee reports. And I can start with somewhere we have, there we go, with academic achievement. And then if you'd like me to do policy, I can. Okay. We met on the 20th of this month. We had Alyssa Bouchard, Carrie Germain, Rod Heatherton, Jim Kitchen, Michelle Paul, and Dave Simonson for the Academic Achievement Committee. We met in the morning. In preparation for the School of Choice approval this evening, Rod provided us an overview of the definitions and the deadlines that are associated with School of Choice and compared the data for Genesee County schools. And the committee, after their discussion and review, recommended that we approve the School of Choice resolution being presented at this meeting. Next, we had Michelle Paul, our curriculum director, who provided an overview of some strategies to address the post-pandemic academic recovery. It's an ongoing situation for all schools in the state and probably across the nation. Michigan is 17th in the nation for math recovery for 2019 to 2024. And there's been a pilot program for the Bridges and Number Corners as the new math curriculum, and the administrators and the team, the group that actually did the pilot, are recommending that we go forward as a district with that program, Bridges and Number Corners. It was very interesting to hear the highlights and overview of the program. And just as a reminder for board members, the IXL program that we approved last month will be compatible and supportive of this as well. We have a third grade teacher, Twin Kaiser, who's been working along with the GISD and Oakland County teachers to also learn more about the program and hopefully can help train some of the teachers. There are details in your packet about the cost and the rollout of that program. Even though it was done for K2, and Michelle is eventually going to be for K5, it'll be rolled out for K5. And again, the committee, after the review and the discussion, recommended that we as a board approve this evening as it's coming before us. That was pretty much all we had for that meeting. Anybody have questions on that? All right. My friend Andrea was otherwise disposed and asked me if I would fill in, and I'm honored to do that for you. It was Alyssa Bouchard, myself, Rod, Jim Kitchen, Kevin Claren, and Dave Simonson. And there was an overview of threat and risk assessment history for the district given by Kevin Claren. He did update the committee on what we had done in the past, provided a brochure that was available to families previously when there might be threats of targeted violence. And he also gave us detail on a chart that compares the CSTAG, the Comprehensive Student Threat Assessment and Management, and the BTAM, which is Behavior Threat Assessment and Management. And they were generous in their responses to committee questions. Dave Simonson provided us with an overview of our current threat and risk policy, and we reviewed that. We also saw some examples from Novi and Fenton, and we have an opportunity to expand our policy within the Troon set of policies. And we, as a committee, after reviewing and discussing, recommended to the full board that we adopt that expanded version of 5714. Then I think there was some discussion about maybe bringing James Yake from GISD for a presentation related to threats and security in the future, and that was all we had for that meeting. Any questions? Yes, no?
Thank you for covering for me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Our next meeting, May 15th. Are we going to push that back?
I think there was a question from Sue or Rod today about, I'm available if we want to move it, or,
Sue and I looked at the calendar. It is busy. If we only move policy, I know that would be more difficult. Carrie would have to come in twice, but.
It's okay. She doesn't have to come to my meeting.
That's true.
Just kidding.
I like it.
But if we just move just policy, that would fit in somewhere around 9:30, 10.
That's fine, on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do 10.
Yep, 10 a.m. on the 22nd.
And that's the same day as, evening as
Right, so we've got a busy
honors.
day, which I did look at as well
Yep.
too, but thank you, that accommodates my schedule so I can make
Right.
that meeting.
Okay.
All right.
If there are no questions, then I
I
would,
have one, Madam
oh,
President.
surely.
Who's James Yake? I know he's from the GIC.
I
but What's
can't
his
res-
specialty?
I can't respond to that, but I think either Rod or Jim can.
Dr. Yake leads the Safety and Mental Health Committee at the ISD.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Chuck. All right, now let's move on to finance. Alyssa?
Thanks, Carrie. The meeting was called to order at 2:03 PM, and present was myself, President Carrie Germain, Vice President Chuck Milkey, Rod Heatherton, Jim Kitchen, Jamie Cohen, Bill Loader, and from the public, Mr. John Pobasic. For the first item on the agenda were the financials. Ms. Cohen reviewed the budget to actual financials for each fund for the month ended on March 31st. For our general fund, we're at $11,942,920.54. Food service at $392,299.69. Student activity funds at $887,000, $887,286.85. Debt service fund at $4,274,710.04, and the capital project funds at $38,076,542.33, with a total cash and investments of $55,573,759.45. Also in the meeting, Ms. Cohen presented the hard cap rate for 2026, which PA 152 determined at 2.9%. This means that the amount a public employer in Michigan can contribute to a medical benefit plan for its employees has increased by 2.9% over the last year. The PA 152 hard cap rates dictate the total annual cost that employers can contribute toward medical benefits. This cap is based on the change in the medical care component of the U.S. Consumer Price Index. Next on the agenda, we spoke about grants, the 27K student loan repayment, cohort number 2. Ms. Cohen stated that the state aid took back excess funds from cohort 1. She noted that cohort 2 is now open and shared that employees or EDGE staff can apply. The application is accessible through a link on the state website. Cohort 2 closes on May 19th at 5 p.m. Next on the agenda, we had a bond update, and I want to defer that to operations. We had a meeting with French and Ox. I know Chuck, he'll touch base on that. We will have some board action items tonight, the award of the HVAC bids and the approval of K-5 math, bridges, numbers, corner curriculum, which was presented at the Academic Achievement on April 17th. We did have some public comments. Mr. Pobosic had some questions for the committee. He asked Mr. Heatherton how many employees Swartz Creek currently has. It was stated that the district employs 366 staff members and 144 EDU staff personnel. He also inquired about where teacher wages will go in the next 5 years. We did not have any committee comments, and the meeting was adjourned at 2:54 p.m. And our next meeting will be May 20th, 2025 at 2:00 p.m. here in the administrative building. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Any questions for Alyssa? All right, hearing none. Let's go on to operations, Chuck.
I'll make a motion to accept Alyssa's report as
Thank
written,
you.
Madam President.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Or,
Andrea, any comments or questions? Hearing none. Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Andrea Fick.
yes.
5 yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Now, Chuck, can you do an update on operations, please?
Yeah, Rod already mentioned some of it, but we started at 3:03 p.m. We took a short break. Bill Loader was there, President Carrie Germain, Jamie Cohen, Rod Heathington, Jim Kitchen, Trustee Alyssa Bouchard, excuse me, myself, and then John was still there from the public. Aaron came, Sydney came from Auk Construction, and Suzanne came from French Architect to give us an update on the bond project. And for people who are wondering why we have $55 million in the bank, a lot of that has to do with the $40 million that we have taken in from the bonds. So that's just sitting there. So we don't really have that money. It's 40 million of it's pre-allocated to someone else. So, for the school to do their improvements. So the first agenda item was AUK giving us an update. They're going to start installing HVAC units in the middle school and the high school, and I believe in some of the grade schools. If I'm not mistaken, they're going to do all the iron work, the electrical, and prepping the roofs because it's quite extensive, and that'll happen this summer. And then they plan on doing at least the high school and middle school this fall to help the air handler units that we currently have to have better air for the staff and children. The Cage Field House will be getting 2 new HVAC units, which are extensive also. All these projects are considered Phase 1 projects. We have a Phase 1 and a Phase 2. The Deke site work and the Cage site work is being done. You know, in the first bond, we didn't do those, so they're already starting on those. And they're going to have the prints, which they had currently already done, and they might start some of that work this summer. The only thing that was questioned was I asked if some bollards could be put up so people don't park on all the grass at the Cage with the current plans, and they said they could probably do that with little to no cost. Design plans are being created currently with the architect and the builders for all common areas, bathrooms, and for the PAC, gym, weight room, and the media centers at the high school and middle school. As I said, this presentation was given by French and AUK. It was pretty extensive. They seem to be doing a pretty good job so far. They've got everything on time. Other items will be the technology furniture, which will start in the summer of 26. All projects should be completed by late 26 or early 27. That might be off a couple months there, but that's what they're looking at. Mary Crapo update, as Rod said, they started moving the earth for the ball field, and the the turf should be done by sometime in August. The complete project will be done in September. I said that we'd have a sheet in there, but I don't think it's in there, Sue. I'd asked Jim they had a sheet where it had all the dates. So what Lurvy Construction had done, oh, it's here, I didn't see it, good faith. Oh, that's yours, oh, okay, well, we can pass it down. This was a sheet that was provided, I was hoping it'd be in our packets, but what this sheet does is, it shows when the project's gonna be started and when it's gonna be done, minus weather, and it's pretty extensive, and it looks like everything will be done by 9/25, but they actually break down every project that they're doing, when they start and when they'll be done. So I'll pass this down, if you care to look at it. I'm sure Sue can make you a copy. Bus sales, 2 buses were sold. Bus number 21 for $6,500. Bus number 28 for $56.32. Both bids were accepted. Committee comment, mostly me. I asked for follow-up status from the last several issues we had. We did receive a $12,500 grant for the bottle station fillers, and some of the water needs to be replaced in some of the restaurant areas, but there was no final cost given, so Bill said he'd get with us next meeting for that. Asked if an agreement was signed for Dawes Construction, as they're storing materials on school property. I asked that we could get an agreement signed so we're held not liable for anything that they have or do on our property. It's on them. The storm drains were already fixed and completed at Siren Schools. There was 2 storm sewers. They were actually done by, was it Dawes? Was it Dawes? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. The problems that we had with the pool draining into open groundwater, I asked about that last month. Bill was nice enough to follow up with the Drain Commission, and we're gonna fix that. ARC wasn't quite right on that, but it's gonna be taken care of so we don't get dinged for any, putting pollutants in the groundwater. The Morris cooler was completed at a cost of $50,400, I believe. And Mr. Heathington said there was a hold. There was some sidewalks planned from the high school to the administration area. Somebody stopped it. I believe it was a drain commissioner that can figure out drainage areas, correct? Okay. Public comment. John shared a book that he had from St. Mary's Church, an older book with some pictures of the people that were gracious enough that donated a lot of money, the O'Briens. And I suggested maybe we put a wood plaque up in the, here, or maybe at the high school, and we would just put plaques up for people that donated money for scholarships. It'd be a nice gesture if we did that. Mr. Poposek, as public comment, wanted to know about the concession stand, if they're serving hot food. I think we cleared that up with Rod and Bill, and wanted to know how many students were currently at Gaines Elementary, which is approximately 93. We adjourned at 3:45 PM, and our next meeting date is May 20th, and I'll start at 2 with finance, and operations will start immediately after finance.
Thanks, Chuck. Any questions for Chuck?
I do. The design plan's being created for common area bathrooms, like the PAC, the gym. Are we updating the bathrooms? Like, we already have a bathroom at the PAC. Are we adding bathrooms?
PAC should have a comma there. So there's a standalone project at the PAC, and then the common areas are like the media center, and then the bathrooms are also being updated. That's separate,
So
but yes,
updates, not, we're not adding bathrooms, we're updating the current bathrooms.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, everyone, for your work on that. All right, moving on, we have board discussion items. I'm going to turn that over to Rod for an introduction.
Yes, very excited to have two great presentations tonight. Well, let's start off with Mr. Swade and the peer-to-peer presentation. Mr. Swade, is that mic on? There it goes.
Better maybe? Maybe. All right. So yeah, last year I was able to come and share peer-to-peer's first year. Super excited. This year we've doubled in growth, and I just wanted to take a few minutes just to share our year so far and how we've grown and some of the things that we are looking forward to in the future as well. So just as a quick rehash for you guys, and if you're not familiar with peer-to-peer, peer-to-peer is a evidence-based program that promotes belonging, independence, academic opportunities for students with IEPs. Initially, students on the autism spectrum, we had great turnout after our first year, and we were able to support students beyond just with the autism spectrum and carry that over into students with IEPs, and have a few students push into our cognitively impaired classroom as well. Some of the research that START has shared, and I mentioned, is that we have increased opportunities and outcomes for the students with the IEPs, but also for students participating in the program as well. So last year in the second semester, we had seven students in the class, and we started this year with 8 for the first semester. And then with second semester, we added 4 more, so we have 12 students in the program now. And my goal was to increase the opportunities for students to have like authentic interactions, and it was kind of based around the calendar and the holidays, and getting outside and just kind of sharing some shared experiences with interests. The picture on the left of this slide is we took a field trip to Flushing Farms, and we kind of had the whole place to ourselves, and we got to enjoy a cider and some donuts, and kids had a great time with that. I think we were the only ones there, so we spent a good chunk of the morning there. I believe the picture on the right is kind of trying to think of the funny name. I called it the Thanksgiving Extravaganza, and I think I had Rod and Jim come down with some of our building principals, and it's hard to see, but one of our social workers, Mrs. Edwards, she is, I think, in the middle of leading us through a gratitude exercise as we were all kind of filling our plates there and getting comfortable there. What was really cool about this is that ownership was kind of being developed within all the students, not just people within the class. I want to say most everyone was able to bring something, whether that be something to make, something that was pre-made, supplies. So it was a great experience, and hopefully had some yummy food along with that as well. As we moved into winter, the picture on the left, we went to see a movie in the starting, I want to say, in December, right around Thanksgiving. Trillium and Grand Blanc, they do like a free movie day. So we got our comfy jammies on, and we're able to enjoy a Christmas movie together. And then a picture on the right, we typically have weekly, I could just call them meetups, and we just have fun. We play games. Uno seems to be like by far the most popular game, which just kind of cracks me up, and it's very competitive too. So it's it's just funny to see. I like this picture because everyone's interacting. Everyone might be with their buddy, or they might just be talking with someone that they've met within the program, and I'm really proud of all the students within that. They really embraced being friends with the student that they work with, and that's really transitioned into some authentic friendships outside the classroom and during our meetup times as well. As we moved to spring, the picture on the left, we braved a little chilly morning and had an Easter egg hunt right outside the pack. I was kind of blown away about how the students responded to this. They had a blast with it. It didn't take very long, but some students, they were like running around with their buddy and just had a great time with it.
So what kind of feedback do you get from your peer about the program or how it's made a difference for them?
She loves when I come to her class. She asks me if I can come and with her to other classes. She walks me in the hallway. I've known her for a really long time, like since elementary school. So I already kind of had that bond with her. But she really needs the person, the friend there to like support her and help her like figure out how to do things for herself. And the first day I showed up, she goes, "Are you my new peer?" She obviously wasn't excited about it at first, but I think I kind of loosened up a little bit. I think she likes me, but she's really enjoying the meetups, field trips, having someone to go and hang out.
And from what you're saying, it looks like you might enjoy it as well.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun. My peer, he really doesn't like what I do. We come into Mr. Swartz class and do like lessons and reflections and stuff on like expanding our knowledge on autism, like just the different things that we talk about in the community and how they'll be perceived and stuff like that. Anytime we have a partner project in this, Mr. Swartz class, we always do that except today, actually. He did not want to be my friend anymore, which is good though.
Good. And we're proud of you. It's a great opportunity. So, Mr. Swade, what's next? We expect to see you in another year, so what's next?
Yes, the early feedback seems like the number of students interested has gone up significantly. I'd like to see possibly the addition of another section of peer-to-peer as an offering. Like that to me makes the most sense. So that way students can possibly receive support, a couple times a day, which is one. In having discussions with other schools who've had it for longer, that's kind of their next step.
Okay, well, thank you. Go ahead.
So has there ever been like not a good match, like someone doesn't match well with the peer that they got?
There has. So I try really hard to match shared interests. And initially last year, just being brand new, I made the decision, you're this person's peer, and that worked okay. There was just a lot of flexibility. This year I looked at what do you like, what does the student like? Okay, let's try it. And there.
So just
personalities-
what happens if there isn't one? I mean, like, is there a different match? Like, can they? Okay.
Yeah, so I typically ask very politely if we could do a little switcheroo, if you will, to maybe be a better fit. Because sure, we could have all the right things on paper and it would make sense, but personality sometimes.
Okay.
Anyone
Yeah,
else?
yeah, Mr. Swade, thanks for doing this. It's all positive, I think. There's three things I had specific questions on. I know you said the grades went up. Do we have statistical data on that? Do you track that? Let me ask that. Do you track that?
Yeah,
Or is that just a
I've
guess?
started to. I want to give it another year before I have anything real firm in place. But anecdotally, students on my caseload that are participating in the program, I have a bulk of the students on the autism spectrum, and grades have gone up significantly.
Good.
The longer the duration.
Plus all the other pluses. Let me ask you, if you have a child or a young kid that's sheltered and they haven't come to you, do you approach them or do you somehow recruit people that you think needs it, or do you let your students help you make that decision?
Yeah, so initially last year, I basically picked students.
Okay.
Those students have kind of carried over. With the increase in student participants, I did ask for feedback from
Good.
Because, not everyone wants to have a peer.
No.
So, if they can have a benefit from increased social skills and having someone
Yeah. Yeah, I know some kids probably don't want to be a part of it, and you've identified where some kids probably need it. That's what I was getting at. So how do you, yeah, I want you to bring those kids in, if you can.
I'll bring more in,
Yeah, you know what I mean, because there's a lot of kids, when I take a tour every now and then, they're walking with their stuff, and they're kind of, you can tell that they're,
I think it's, I think I hope I answered that. I hope I understood the question. I have some students that are like, how do I be a part of it? And it's like, well, I don't have anybody right now in mind, but, next year, hopefully with that continued growth, I can kind of bring those students in.
Miss Stammen actually wanted me to cut in and say that the interest has doubled in growth. So like from this year to next year. So she just texted me to say that. So yeah, it has like actually like doubled. Yeah.
And you probably don't know this, but is that an interest of the peers or the students that need the peer? I mean, I guess it would be the,
So these are students that will be participating in my class.
Okay.
So I will then need to identify what I'll call just target students to help.
a positive, negative. How about we use a positive sign and then, well, maybe not negative, but
Yeah.
a neutral sign, somebody that attracts them and helps them. Yeah. That's a great program.
Is there some kind of like exit type of interview when it's done, like almost done for the year from both sides to say like things that maybe they thought would improve it or things that they love that it works for them, like from both sides of the peer?
Yeah, that's a great point. And really, I've only done like students of mine. I get enough like verbal feedback about it. I haven't had anything from like a real formal like exit interview, but that's a great idea to.
I'm just saying that way, like, say one of these guys saw like there was a hiccup, like maybe, I don't know, like we shouldn't be trying to do this until like week 3. It took that long to really make a bond or something like that. Even, or positive things that like, dang, we should have been doing this sooner, like, from both sides.
Yeah, that's part of our Monday routine.
Oh, okay.
Before I dive into any content, I really try really hard to pick, like 25, 30 minutes sometimes. We're really picking brains about how the week went. I call it grows and challenges, and what went good for the week, what was a challenge, and then really we try to brainstorm. Because even though I'm the teacher of that class, there's been a lot of great ideas from students that have resonated and been able to transfer to that peer relationship.
How many districts do this? I mean,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any in Genesee County that don't.
okay, they all do it.
Yeah, most of them do.
What grade are you leaving? And this is only high school, right? Like peer-to-peer is only high school?
There was peer-to-peer is only in high school, but at the middle school, there was a program called Unified Leadership, where once, only 8th graders are allowed to do it, but once you get into 8th grade, you would go into the class. It was either gym or music. So half the semester was gym, half the semester was music. And depending on which semester you got Unified Leadership, you would just, it's not even like peer-to-peer, you don't get a designated person, you're just there to be with everyone.
Is there a possibility? I mean, I know you're not in the middle school, but I'm just saying, middle school's hard. We've
Yeah.
discussed this a couple times, like, maybe we need to look into it there too.
We did, I think, try to have some development there. Sean and I had reached out to someone who I think was interested in mainly starting from high school. But I think they never got
Oh. Okay. So we need to find a person.
We need to find.
Yeah, there are multiple programs like this. So Unify is generally general ed paired up with CI, and peer-to-peer is generally autistic with general ed. So it takes the right teacher with the right background, and you got to have the kids on that particular caseload, because as kids move through groups of classification move through as well.
And this probably works better with their age group. 'Cause in middle school, everyone's trying to find themselves. I love your enthusiasm and the accountability that you now have to be at school. So both of you, and I'm sure everyone in the program, right? There's an accountability when you're a leader, right? And you are a leader. So I love that. It's helping both ends.
Maybe this is a question for you gentlemen and Mr. Swade. Is there room in the student's schedule to continue doing this throughout if they fall in love with it? So as a junior and a senior, I know it gets really tight, right? What you want to do and sign up for.
Student who, I want to say she's completing her third full semester.
Wow.
As long as they're interested, the door's open.
So I think you're referring to credits and what it takes to graduate. And so this would count as an elective credit. So there would be a sacrifice that you're not taking a different elective, but you would still get elective credit
Okay.
for it.
Okay. Well, we're very proud of you, and thank you. And thanks for doing the pledge today. You reacted very positively, but thank you, Mr. Swade, and thanks, students, and your other students, all of them, for participating and for sharing. And we do look forward to hearing an update next year. Okay, thank you. All right. If you ladies need to leave, you're welcome to do so, or you can stay. It's your choice. And Mr. Swade. All right. Thank you again. All right, moving on, we have our STEAM report.
Yes, very excited to have Michelle back with us. Are you dragging Heather up too, or? Okay, all right.
To build. Am I not loud enough? Oh, let me do this. They're learning to build with all kinds of different manipulatives, problem solve. You'll see on the lower right there, I believe they are probably dissecting some owl pellets. So we're exposing them at the elementary level to a lot of different facets of what they need to be successful later as they travel through STEAM. We had a district-wide STEAM night this year for our elementary schools, and I got an opportunity to be a part of that. It was a very exciting night. We had staff, students, and parents from all 5 buildings in attendance. We partnered with MSU Extension, the Mel Bus, Formar Nature Preserve, the Flint Children's Museum, Lagan Outdoor Center, Department of Health and Human Services, 4-H, a zoologist who is one of our very own Swartz Creek graduates from the Detroit Metro Zoo. And then we were supported by our NJHS and our NHS students to do some of the make and takes our students had available to them. There was a room they could go in and demonstrate their skills with robotics for their parents. We had a glow room for some interactive play and activities using manipulatives that they use in their classroom on a daily basis. And of course, dinner was served to everyone. I thought this was a fabulous idea. I've been to several of the buildings' individual STEM nights, and they get a pretty good crowd. This pulled a fabulous crowd, and it was really great to see so many partners there, and the parents as well.
some of the things they did that evening, you can see here in the center picture there is some of our NJHS and NHS students working with parents and students building out, I believe, many flashlights in that particular picture. And then we had the manipulatives that they use in the classroom. It was interesting that these students were able to demonstrate to their parents, and I had several parents towards the end of this came to me and said, I had no idea my daughter or my son knew this information, or that they had this skill, or they could build this and explain this particular item in it. The other great thing about this was that we had a lot of our staff came out and participated, and it was great for our students to get to see their teachers or someone who works in their building outside of their own building. They got excited. There was a lot of hugging going on. So we had some microscopes, handheld microscopes there in the lower right-hand corner. I think adults got as big a kick as the kids did out of those. MSU brought a lot of handouts so parents could take home different things to do STEM at home. Just, I call it kitchen science, easy to do. So. At the middle school, our science teachers have becoming more stronger and growing in the MyStar curriculum. I'm really excited to see where they're going with it this year. They've embraced it and they've delved into it even deeper, and they're picking up more and more of the units. The program's really great for our students because it's very hands-on. You can see them here participating in a couple of different labs. On the left, that's our 8th graders. They're working with forces in motion, and they're exploring collision sciences with a tissue box and a 3D printed plastic car that we made right in our own labs. On the right, we have we're working on an erosion lab with our 6th graders. And you can see they get to really explore and delve into it. We partnered this year at the middle school with MSU in the Flint River watershed. MSU comes out and works with our 6th graders on that erosion lab and run them through a couple of lessons. The Flint River watershed comes out and we do our testing on the creek, which we'll be doing here in about 2 weeks. So if you see a bunch of 7th graders out there, that's what's going on. We do the Flint Soapbox Derby. We'll be kicking off our first build here in 2 weeks. And again, we've done we were in and presented to you, we partnered with the food services right here in our own district with the grow stations. We now have one at the middle school and one at the high school. So, and we've got our students involved in both of those locations. We offer a STEAM 6, STEAM 1, and STEAM 2 class covering grades 6 through 8. And then this year, we were out and presented this as well earlier, is our new Entre class where students are in our makerspace and they're learning to use all the different types of tools. Here you see them using power tools, but they use a lot of handheld tools. They learn to use the laser printer, the 3D printer, and over the course of about 8 weeks, they're trained on everything. And at this point, in fact, this week they came to us with their own ideas and they started developing, designing, and today we were actually cutting wood and started our construction process of their own ideas. So it's exciting to see, and because we're getting into it a little earlier this semester, they're going to have an opportunity to do at least 2, maybe 3 projects before the end of the school year. So Mother's Day presents are going to be fabulous this year, that's all I'm going to say. So, and we know from last semester, by completing your own project, there comes a great deal of pride. So these are kids from first semester, and these are kids that have never touched a power tool or worked with their hands, and they did some really outstanding projects. So I really love this class. It's a lot of fun to work with these kids. This is why Heather Loney's here. So this year, Heather has done a Lego League for the elementary kids at Elms early in the morning before school. And I had transitioned our kids at the middle school over to a Lego League club as well, where we design Lego robotics and then we try to complete missions and tasks. Heather and I had been talking about what we were each doing, and we decided we'd like to try a little intramural competition. So we got to talking about it, and I think it kind of took on a life of its own. It really did. So what was going to be a little get-together and have the kids kind of compete against each other ended up into a rather large tournament that we compete for the large in the upper left-hand corner there, coveted giant brick to be kept at your building. Middle school has it this year. Don't get So my main goal in doing this was that we wanted to build, I wanted to see some of your peer mentoring that we just had a fabulous presentation on. I wanted to see peer mentoring between the middle school and the elementary. I wanted a project that brought both of those buildings together. And I have to say, I was more than pleased with what I saw. So we work in our own buildings over a 10-week period, and then we came together for what I thought was going to be a small little competition. Turns out I had no clue what I was in for. I think we had over 60 parents show up for this event, which was fabulous. We didn't have enough pizza for everyone, but we gave out the awards. We had 4 separate teams. They design, build, and then compete against each other to complete tasks on the white platform you see there. There are actually 5, 6 different tasks on there they have to complete with their robot. So it was very exciting. The elementary kids showed up. Some of my boys, unbeknownst to me, walked over and jumped in and started giving advice and helping some of the elementary kids with no prompting. And that right there was exactly what I wanted, the whole thing. I could have cared less who won the brick. That's exactly what I was looking for to happen. So parents loved this event, wanted more. We're talking to Mrs. Briggs at Deke. You hear that, Mrs. Briggs? We're going to get them a couple of kits. We want them on board. We want this to be a full district intramural competition. At the high school, so I have some information for you here. We know we've had a small transition there. And so I have, this is what they've been focusing on. They're at the high school. It's mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering. The achievements, these are some of the projects that I understand they've worked on over the course of the year. They started developing them last year. They became more proficient in them this year. They do the 3D modeling using the Onshape program, basic electronics, Arduino microcontroller coding. That's what we're finishing up right now. Designing and building laptop computers is what we're going into. We'll be finishing the year with that project because it's about a 6-week program. They had a outside source come in and teach them soldering skills for circuit components. They work with servo motors. They're building functional robotic hands. In fact, I have a student that finished his projects, and he's back perfecting his robotic hand this week. They built motorized cars, wind turbines, and we have 4 kids that are highly advanced. They're working on desktop arcades right now. So very impressive to talk to these people. And here you can see, using on the left, the young men are building out their Arduinos to build out cars that'll run remotely. And on the right is what it looks like to build out a laptop. So they use the Raspberry Pi, they wire it up, they 3D print all the components to house everything. It's actually a hinged lid, it's got a keyboard, the whole 9 yards in it. So everything has to fit, and they get critiqued on how well all their ports and everything line up. The STEM lab at the high school is also used by other classes. AP Bio came in and did their DNA fingerprinting this year. I know a lot of the math classes use it because it's a big space and there's a lot of room for them to get in there, spread out, and do what they got to do. The geometry class here, they do their kite flying building in there. So that was them prepping their kites to go outside, making sure everything was right. And of course, we got to give a last minute shout out to our Dragonators. They made it through their first round and into their second round this year. I heard they got invited to an alliance, which is a big deal in robotics to get invited into an alliance. That means another high-scoring team thinks you're good enough to come along and team up with them to do a round. So I'm very proud of them. That was a huge step. Megan Bleck does a fantastic job of coaching that team. So, and that is all I have, believe it or not.
Thank you, Michelle, as
You're welcome.
always, for all that you do. And there's way more behind the scenes that we know that you do to make this all happen.
Yep,
But
a little bit.
I appreciate you. Anybody have questions or comments for Michelle? What can we say?
All right, that's it. Hey.
I'm really impressed by the robotics team. I
They did
wasn't
really well this year.
sure what our status was.
They're
You know,
growing. They're really growing. Just two of those people on that team were on our middle school team 2 years or 3 years ago. So our program, her program's feeding my program's feeding their program. And it's exciting to see these kids grow and be able to do that, so.
And so I'm assuming that sign are the sponsors that they're able to
Yeah,
get?
so that's their sponsorships, yeah, that's who they have
That's great.
sponsoring them, so.
That's really great.
And then the gentleman in the back in the red and black T-shirt, he's actually their mentor from Kettering. So they brought him on this year, and he's helped him out immensely, so.
So do you know what some of these students aspire to do? I mean, obviously, they may or may not have known that this was the path they were going down. Do any of them have future goals?
I'm not sure. I know the young lady in that picture there in the middle. I had her at middle school, and I asked her one time, is this something you're interested in? She said, well, it's fun. So but that fun is what nurtures a job you love. So they're all more than capable of following and pursuing something in this. I know a lot of them are looking at Kettering, so.
Good.
So,
Anyone else? No? Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
you very
Good job,
much. Okay, moving on. We do have several board action items before us, beginning with the approval of our delegate and alternate representative for GISD annual budget hearing, which is on June 3rd, I believe. June 2nd. No, that's not true. Yes, it is.
June 2nd.
Yes.
And I believe Andrea and Alyssa have volunteered for this already?
No, it's April 30th,
It's April 30th. That's the dates.
This
April
is for the
30th.
budget hearing.
next Wednesday.
It's next Wednesday. Yes, and you're correct. I think, Alyssa, you had done it before. Do you want to flip for it if you're still interested?
No, I
or-
have not done this.
Oh, you
This is
haven't done
different.
this?
This is the vote. This isn't the,
So previously, we have had treasurers who attend this meeting. That's not etched in stone anywhere, but if you're available, and do we have someone who wants to
I
be?
believe Andrea was going to be the representative, and then Alyssa wanted to be the alternate.
Is that good?
They volunteered.
Okay, all right. Now, we don't want to voluntold you. So I would entertain a motion to that regard for Andrea to represent us. And if there's anyone else who wants to speak now or forever hold your peace, if you'd like to jump in as a candidate. If not, Andrea as our representative and Alyssa as our alternate. Is there a motion?
so moved.
And Chuck?
I support.
And second, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
Yes,
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard.
Yes.
and thank you, ladies, very much. Appreciate it. Next, we have the approval of designation of electoral representative for GISD biennial election. I think that is the June 2nd meeting. Anyone who want to volunteer? It's where the GISD gives an overview of the budget, their budget. They have slideshows and answer questions if there are any.
What time is it, Carrie?
That's a good question, Sue. Do you know what time that is? I think it's usually at 5:30 or 6.
This is June
This is
2nd.
the biennial election where you're electing their board, two of their board members.
This
We
is the
vote
other
at it. We vote as a whole.
Yes,
The
and then
meeting
you take
before.
it to them and tell them
Yeah,
what you want.
they send us the flyers of who we want, we vote on it,
Yes.
and somebody shows up there, but what
Exactly.
time is that? Does anybody know?
I'm looking at the paper.
It doesn't say on here.
It doesn't have a
just-
time on
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, it just
but I
says
can,
the date.
let me see if I can find it.
You said you can go, Andrea?
I mean,
Is that what you said?
I could.
All right, and
I
I'm not-
didn't say that, but I definitely could.
Okay, then, I nominate Andrea to go.
Okay, so if
Thanks.
Andrea
I
can
was-
attend as our representative, do we have someone to serve as alternate? Okay, Alyssa, so we have Andrea and Alyssa, they're going to swap places here. And do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Okay, and second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Chuck Milky,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
Yes.
And Alyssa Bouchard.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on. Next, we have approval of Section 105 and 105C Schools of Choice Board Resolution. Rod, do you have any updates on that or information you wanted to share?
Just a reminder that this is the yearly resolution that allows us to participate. 105C is what we have always participated in, that allows us for school of choice for Genesee County and all contiguous counties.
Okay, thank you for that. Do I have a motion?
I'd like some, I can wait till it's motion, and we'll have discussion.
So moved.
Andrea, Alyssa? You had questions, Chuck?
Well, discussion on the motion, yes.
Okay.
And I think I have some of the numbers. We're currently taking about 850 kids,
Yes.
850 to 900. I
Yes.
looked at it today. Okay. And how many leave our district roughly?
For public schools, it's around
Two? I'm sorry.
650. It's 200 less, but if you add in losses to the ISD and charters, it's more like 790.
So Swartz Creek is losing 790 students going to other districts?
Yeah, we're a net 200 on public to public and a net 70-ish on overall. Now, just remember that the ISD is programming. There's no real choice in those losses.
Meaning the students would go there regardless of what district they were in.
Right.
Yeah.
It means they have an IEP.
I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I thought I saw a number around 250 you put out a couple months ago.
Yeah, so last year we pulled it, well, actually, Nikki pulled it 2 years in a row off of my school data, and it's about 200. But this year they've included all losses, like I said, so if you have an IEP and you're going to the ISD,
Okay.
so that shrinks the overall number. And then they
What
also,
about homeschooling? Is that included in there?
charter.
Charter.
Charter, yep.
So just for clarification, we gain students at the end of it. We lose some and then we gain, but overall it's a gain?
Yes, we're a gain both ways. Public to public, we gain over 200. Overall, just in and out, we gain like 70. We retain 80% of school of choice, which is 8th or 9th out of the 21 districts. The largest being 90%, and I can't remember who it is, and the smallest being Flint, which only retains 20%.
I know Mrs. Damon isn't here tonight, but recently she moved her own student here from Flushing. We have a lot of staff. I know there's staff at several different buildings that bring their kids. So we do get a lot of staff that teach here, but they don't live here, so they're bringing their kids with them to school, which I, of course, appreciate.
Any other comments or questions?
I didn't know the numbers were that slim in between. I thought it was 600 or 700 total. I'm really confused.
That we can get in, but
Yeah, but I mean, that we get in. I didn't know that we lost that many students.
The gap has always been around 200. We lost 600 or 700. The gap has always been around 200 public to public.
Any other comments or questions? Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the 105 and 105C School of Choice 2526 Board Resolution as presented. Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Andrea Fick,
yes.
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
No.
Carrie Germain.
Yes.
4 yes.
And that is 4?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have the adoption of the Troon policy. This is the expanded version that I spoke about in my committee report. Did you want to give an update on that, Rod, or no? So this is the one that's related to, it's entitled Student Safety and Health and Safety Threat Assessment and Response. So this is an expanded version of what we already had in place.
Yes, so we adopted 5714 threat assessment response in December of '24. We originally adopted option 1, which is the first paragraph. At the last policy meeting, we looked at schools who have Troon. One of them is Novi, and what that looks like. And so you can see in your packet that there are about another 3 paragraphs, A, B, C, D, and E, which expand out the definitions a little more. We also then pulled some Fenton, Flushing, Linden, but those policies were with Neola, so they're structured very differently. Liked the expanded version and the way it's laid out, and recommended we go back to the expanded version, which would be all the blue front and back. On the back side, you're just putting in Kevin Claren's name and information, and on the front side, you would choose option B, use the MDE, Michigan State Police definition.
All right. I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Chuck? Alyssa? Any other comments or questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Andrea Fick.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. And finally, nope, 2 more. Final one, approval of the new K-5 math program that was presented on academic achievement.
So again, just as Ms. Paul presented at Academic Achievement, we're taking a look at the program that they've been piloting. This is actually a purchase out over 2 years. So there would be up to $88,000 in 25-26 and up to $35,000 in 26-27. And then after that, it's just consumables, which right now is estimated at around $18,000 a year.
Thank you, Rod. All right, with that, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Alyssa? Support. Andrea? Any comments or questions? Hearing none, be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the purchase of Bridges Number Corner from the Math Learning Center for a price not to exceed $88,000.00 to be funded by general fund in the 25-26 school year, and an additional $35,000.00 to be funded by general funds in the 26-27 school year. Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
Alyssa Bouchard.
Yes.
5 yes.
Thank you, Sue. Motion passes. And then I think finally on our list of board action items is the approval of our HVAC bids.
So this is the HVAC bids. You can see that it's broke out in bid packages by masonry, steel, roofing, mechanical, and electrical. Mechanical is the largest portion, the majority, and that's S&D Mechanical, a Grand Blank. And these would put our multiple dry coolers back on elementaries, and then high school, middle school, plus cage would need updated. This is the first of our packages coming out of the bond, although this is a split purchase, so sinking fund and bond, majority sinking fund. Bill, do you have that? 1.4. Say that again. 1.4. Do you know what part is coming from sinking? Out of the 1.4? She said it in the meeting. I don't have the.
That's okay. I can email her. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions before I entertain a motion?
Yeah, just we're buying 4 dry coolers total, 2 rooftop units total.
Correct.
All right, so that's 6 units. Am I missing some units here? Or is that 8 units? Because the middle school is getting one, the high school is getting one.
So it was
How many units total?
2 plus 4 for the original and then the alternatives.
Yes.
Total, Bill?
6 dry coolers total, 2 rooftop units total for the cage.
So 8?
So 8 units total.
It's just a lot of money for, it seems excessive. I haven't priced them out, but I don't have the time to.
All right. With that, if there are no more immediate questions, I would entertain a motion for approval again.
So moved.
Andrea, support? Anyone? Alyssa? One last call on questions. Hearing none, be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the following recommended contractors: Lydell and Hart Mason Contractors, Cass Erectors and Fabricators, Shana Roofing and Sheet Metal Company, Inc., S&D Mechanical Services, Inc., and J&J Electric, Inc. for the HVAC district-wide project with a total cost not to exceed $1,407,677 to be funded from the sinking fund and 2025 bond funds as presented. And Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Alyssa Bouchard,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
No.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
5 yes, 4 yes.
4 yeses, motion passes. Thank you, everyone. All right, I think that's all of our action items before we move forward. Correct? Didn't miss anything? All right, public comment. This is the second opportunity in the meeting. As I mentioned at the beginning, if anybody'd like to address the board, come up to the podium, state your name, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. And I don't see anyone coming forward, so we will move on to comments and questions from the board. Who would like to start? Okay, that's good too. Anyone else? No? I just want to thank Mr. Swade for coming in and for this amazing program that he's brought forward. And I hope it continues long into the future. And Michelle, thank you very much for all that you do. And for Ms. Loney, thank you.
Samesies, girl.
Samesies. Is that a pinky swear kind of thing? Okay. All right. And Mr. Love, thank you for mentoring our students. And I'm sure, do we have some Sutton students that are going?
Yeah, we have Savannah, Lara, and Peyton, and then from the fall, Sam Machado and Molly Rosenbrook. So we've got 4 representing us this year.
That is such a cool opportunity.
It's always a great time, so I'm excited to see them on stage.
Oh, so cool. All right. Anybody else? Anything? Thanks, Michelle, for your presentation and for all of you, for all that you do, the community for supporting, and for all of our staff that are sitting there. I won't distinguish one from the other because you're all amazing. So if there are no others, I am going to entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Andrea, anyone else? Chuck, do you want to second it?
Support.
Oh, well,
Holly
beat him out.
is alive over there.
Holly, all right. Sue, can I just do okay, one last time?
Sure, absolutely. Carrie Germain,
Yes, please.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
and Alyssa Bouchard.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Thanks to all of you, and thanks to everyone who shared their time with us this evening, and to our wonderful students who led the pledge. Thank you all. Have a great week.